Greetings. I present the Rekin system. VSM Lite Part 1. Today I will show you how to create your own studio set design, which we will later use in the light production module that is in an application in which the live broadcast will be carried out. The method of editing the scenography will be based on the technology of creating layers from pictures. On the Startup screen, we select Virtual Space Maker Light Editor button. We choose an output videos format 1080i 50. Now we press Start Editor button. After a moment, the editor module will launch. The module consists of several parts. On the top bar we can see a menu with the following options. File option with its sub-options on a drop-down list. New, Load, Save, Save As, Go to Startup, Edit option with functions. Undo undoes the last introduced change. Redo restores the last change in the editor in the case of a mistake. Configuration option with functions, language, and style, the application's graphic style. Help option, where you can find product information and QR code. At the center of the screen we have a preview. On the right side, a list of layers and their editing possibilities. Adding layers, removing a layer, or changing layer's position on the list. There are three buttons on the left. Zooming in the studio's view in the window, zooming out, and setting the full default 1:1 view. Control panel is located at the bottom and activated depending on the layer's type. I will describe it later while working on it. The first part will be devoted to constructing a simple set design based on the images taken with a camera that you have in your possession. We select Create button on the right side of the screen. A window for choosing our layers type will appear. You can have up to 32 layers in a single project. Here we have a choice of sources A, B, C and D layers, to which different sources like a kit camera image, video files or image files can be applied in the production module using the ABCD mixer. By default, layer A and layer B are intended for the talent, while layers C and D are designed for the display screens. An object layer is a layer for studio's composition elements with a possibility of editing. A studio layer is a full screen layer that cannot be edited. Let's first select a studio layer. A window where we choose a graphic file appears. It is suggested to insert images with high resolution. I will insert a file I made with a camera. The layers icon appears on the right. It has a default name and two options. Solo show only this layer. And visible, that is disable this layer. As a second one, we will add a talent layer that is a form of a presenter. We will assign a camera image with a kit form of a presenter to the talent layer in the light production module. Let's select source A talent. A figure appears in a white frame. This frame indicates boundaries of a space where the presenter can move. At the bottom, we can see the available options. Source index, that is assigning a source to the ABCD mixer in the production panel. You can change the source at any time and the layer's thumbnail will change. Source type. In this case, a studio's designer sets talent's shot. The presenter's form can be standing, half full, or sitting behind a desk. Layer A can be controlled from the ABCD mixer. It can be a talent, but it can also be a screen. Talent and screen thumbnails are needed to generate the final thumbnail of the studio file and when working with the light production module. When it comes to editing the layers, there are two modes to choose from. First, a rectangle mode that is editing using the controls. We can change the layer's position, scale it, or use X, Y, and Z controls. The second mode is points, that is an editing option where you use points. In this case, points that we are able to move appear in the layer's corners. We can always return to the default view by pressing Reset Transformation button. Let's go back to the layers settings. Another option is an opaque option. Enabling this option will change the selected layer's transparent background to black. The opaque option is disabled by default for talent and object layers. Whereas for the screen layer, it is enabled by default. This stems from the fact that in the case of videos of varying sizes or opacity that are displayed on the screen layer, we don't want to have a proverbial hole in the screen. When we select a certain layer, all the others will change their color to black and white. Looking at the list of layers, we will notice that the talent layer is higher than the studio layer. This means the talent layer as a layer above will overlay the studio layer situated below. Let's add one more screen layer. We press Add Layer button and then we choose Source B, Talent 2. In order to make this layer a display screen, we will change its source type to Screen. Now we can set the layer. We can do the same using the preview. We move this layer below the talent layer. I will show the talent layer again. The third layer is a part of the studio's set design. We press Create button to add a layer and choose Object Layer. Let's select here a layer with a transparency which is indicated with a characteristic grid on the icon. We can set this layer and scale it. The sample files are PNG files with a transparency. The database of available PNG files can be found on the Rekin's hard disk. You can freely compose a studio by using this objects library. We can use Layer Crop function to trim each side of this layer. On the right and on the left, or on the top and on the bottom. I will restore the previous view. Each of the layers can be enabled or disabled. If we reduce the screen's view, select the layer and move it, then whatever is located outside the outline will be removed from the screen's view. Therefore, it will not be visible in the production module. Such created set design can be saved in a form of a ready-made file. Our studio is ready to be used in the light production module. Thank you.
Wrecking. Keen on record.